What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon. MLB DFS video. It is Monday, unfortunately. It is September 18th, but we are back. Hopefully you had a good Sunday for baseball or NFL. We've got two games for NFL tonight, and I wanted to get through this MLB video for you just to get done with this. People have been asking. And so if you've never been here before, hopefully you're in for a treat. Welcome. We go through everything. So if it's on the slate, we can play it. We go through it. We go through the pitching and we go through the bats that we like on the slate. If you have any questions afterwards, get those down below. Anytime a video gets at least 50 likes, you leave a comment and you are a subscriber, you have a chance to win a free week of DFS content. 100 likes is a chance to win a free month. 125 likes, a free year. And 150 likes on any video, someone has a chance to win a lifetime pass. So no one won it in yesterday's video. It was Sunday. Everyone was focused on NFL. But we are back with a full slate of everything you need for MLB through this week. So be on the lookout. I will be doing a lot of people liked the weekly breakdown last week. Problem was I didn't get that out until Saturday. I'm going to try to get that out a lot earlier this week. Obviously, it takes a long time, but we'll get through it and we'll get it done. So that being said, let's jump right into today. As you can see, this game's not on the slate. Cal Quantrill versus Singer, so this would only be a showdown. So we're not going to cover showdown here. We're going to jump into Twins at the Reds. Isn't on there either. Or yeah, it is. So this one is on there. You've got Joe Ryan versus to be announced for the Reds right now. It is in Great American Small Park, so it is a small park that pitching usually doesn't dominate. It's usually a hitter's park, but we'll look at the numbers anyway. You've got Joe Ryan, 6 plate appearances, so he hasn't really seen them. 6 plate appearances, 333 versus to be announced, but they are thinking it's going to be Connor Phillips. That being said, Connor Phillips has only started 2 games and gone less than 5 innings. So this isn't guaranteed yet, but this is kind of weird because it's the morning of and we don't know. He does have an 8.31 ERA. If he is actually the starter, I like the Twins bats here. Obviously, these numbers are bad. 2 starts, 9.64 ERA at home, which is it's a small ballpark. Joe Ryan, 9,600. Again, it's a 2-game slate. I'm not a huge fan of 2-game slates. There's not a lot of variety in it. He's kind of struggled the past couple of starts against Tampa Bay and Cleveland. Hasn't faced Cincy this year. He's pitching on the road. Does have a little bit worse ERA on the road, but I would still go with Joe Ryan in this one. Bats-wise, we can kind of look at the bats. Max Kepler against Connor Phillips. I'm okay with Matt Wallner, cheaper option. Ryan Jeffers, I like him more against lefties than I do righties. Correa. Royce Lewis has been on another planet lately. I would look at a little bit of Royce here. Edward Julian, Alex Kirilloff, Jorge Polanco, those are all ones that I would focus on against Connor Phillips. And if you're not going Joe Ryan because you want to buck the trend a little bit, Marte I would look at. Ellie De La Cruz is still kind of too expensive for me. Just kind of looking. Still 5,500, averaging 8.9, so he's not even averaging 2. He had a good game here. I mean, his pricing is so far up there, and he's kind of... When's the last time he hit a home run? August 23rd. It's almost been a whole month since he's hit a home run. How about a triple? Same day. Double? He's hit a couple of doubles. So... he's super expensive. He shot out the cannon, was really good right at the start, was doing everything, and it's kind of, pitching as, I don't know if they figured him out, but he really hasn't done a ton. Joey Votto would be a tournament option for me. You could look at India a little bit. Yeah, I mean, Jake Fraley maybe. I don't really want much to do with the Cincy bats. I would rather focus on Joe Ryan and then the Minnesota bats. Second game of this early slate, Jose Butto versus Edward Cabrera. looking at this, Budo here, we stacked against him his last start, and it didn't work out. It was Arizona. 5 innings, he gave up 1 earned run, 7 Ks, 3 times value there. Now he's going up against Miami. Hasn't faced them this year. Soler is back. Probably not focused on Budo as much. Home games, he's 4.38 ERA, so he's actually worse at home, which is a pitcher's park, which doesn't make sense. And then on the road in 2 starts, 2.63. So again, he's had 4 total starts, 2 at home, 2 on the road. So the numbers are skewed a little bit. On the road, he has given up 4 earned runs, 6 walks, compared to 12 walks at home. Tournaments, I'm okay with, I guess, in tournaments. Again, I don't like this 2-game slate. It's not the best. Probably avoiding this one as well. Edward Cabrera, on the other hand, Milwaukee 12.3. The Dodgers actually had a fantastic game at 27.2. Splits-wise, he's faced the Mets twice already this year. In 2 starts, only went 6.2 innings, 4 earned runs, 6 Ks, 13 walks. That's a lot of walks. It's almost half the walks that he has at home. That's more than half the walks that he has at home, actually. Yeah, I'm avoiding this early game or early slate here. Not much to like here. So let's move on to the main slate. White Sox at the Nationals. You got Mike Clevinger versus Joan Adon. Clev here. We used him against Kansas City. He would have had even better than what he had, but he gave up 2 earned runs. And that was after a 7-inning stint against Detroit where he went 7 Ks there for 31.4. So he's had kind of 2 games that have been good. Now he's going against a Washington team that's so offensively. He's pitching on the road where he does have just a slight worse ERA at 3.65. Tournaments, I'm okay with Mike Clevinger. But I don't love it. Adon here, game logs, terrible against Pittsburgh. Went 4 innings there. You're going about 5 innings as max out of him, most likely. Against the Mets, gave up 2 earned runs. Splits-wise, he has not faced the Chicago this year. He is pitching at home where he does have an 8.10 ERA at home. I'm probably not looking at the pitching for Adon here. I'd be looking at Chicago bats a little bit more than I would. Clevinger, tournaments, I'm okay with Clevis tournaments, but not using Adon at all. I would look at Eloy. I would look at Andrew Vaughn. I would look at Robert Jr., Gavin Sheets, I would look at. And then, you see these names, like, depending on the catcher, they have 3 catchers on the roster right now. So, who you're going to get, we don't know with catcher. Perez, Lee, Grandal, could be anybody. Trace Thompson would be a cheap option you could look at. Lennon Sosa would be another cheap option. If you're not going with Clev, not a ton of red here. They're not hitting very well. I would look at Kuiper Ruiz. I would look at C.J. Abrams. I would look at Lane Thomas. Maybe Carter Kieboom. Cheaper option, Dom Smith. That's basically it for Washington. Phillies at the Braves is next. Zach Wheeler versus Kyle Wright. Wheeler obviously has seen a ton of Braves, being with the Phillies and the Mets. 272 plate appearances, 224 batting average. The Braves I believe they just got swept by the Marlins, right? Let me double check. And again, like I said in Friday's video or something like that, the Braves are going to, they've already clinched the division really early in the season. They might throw out some batters, They lost 11-5 on Sunday. They lost 9-6 on Saturday. Wait a minute. Sunday, the Braves lost 16-2. I did forget about that. So they just got swept by the Braves, or by the Marlins. Whether or not now they're back home, whether or not they're going to, fight a little bit more, I don't know. Again, Zach Wheeler has seen them a ton. Kyle Wright has, these are division rivals. They've seen each other a ton. we look into their into their pitching here. Wheeler is the second highest priced pitcher on the slate at $10,900. I know he's going up against this offense that they didn't do anything this weekend. I get that. $10,900 is, I'm kind of, yeah. He's the same price he was his last start, which was against this team. Went 5 innings, 6 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 home runs, 4 Ks. Had 1.3 fantasy points. He's faced him twice this year. 13 innings pitched, 6 earned runs, 16 K. So he does have the strikeouts there, but I cannot pay up $10,900 against the Braves. I don't know what my max salary would be against this Braves team. It'd probably be like, I don't even know, 9,000. But I cannot pay that price against the Braves. You might be able to. I want nothing to do with that. Yeah, I don't want anything to do with that. Kyle Wright coming in. He just faced this exact team on last Monday. 3 innings pitched, 6 earned runs, minus 4.7. So, yeah, I'm looking at the offenses in this one. I'm looking at Schwarber, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Castellanos, Bryson Stott. Depending on who else is out there, those would be the main ones I would focus on. Obviously, Schwarber at the top, leading off any game, could be a home run there, which I wouldn't be surprised if he hits one. We called it the other time. Flip side of that, the Braves, literally anyone on that lineup that comes out. Obviously, it didn't work out this weekend too much, but just wait for the lineups to come out. I'm stacking this game. If you can afford it, it might be hard to afford some of the bats. I don't want anything to do with the pitching in this one. Brewers at the Cardinals, Freddie Peralta versus Adam Wainwright. Peralta, 113 plate appearances, 313 batting average. Adam Wainwright, 162 plate appearances, 252 batting average, 20.4 K percentage. We stacked against Wainwright his last start. He won the game. He got his 200th win. It did not work out. That was against Baltimore. Went 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 3 Ks, 11.3. 11.3 is okay, but that's not much, and that's the best he's had in a long time. I'm going back to the well. I'm stacking the Brewers against Adam Wainwright. I don't want anything to do with Adam Wainwright. Then we look at Freddie Peralta. He is the most expensive, $11,300. I don't know if I'm going to pay this price either. Coming off a great start against Miami, 33.1, where we did use him. He's faced St. Louis twice this year already. 1 win, 1 loss, 11.1 innings pitched. Has given up 7 earned runs. At this price, I know it's St. Louis. I don't think I can pay up this price. This is very expensive day. I'm probably avoiding this. I would rather look at the bats for Milwaukee than the pitching in either side of this. So just kind of looking, obviously William Contreras is always going to be an option. He DH'd yesterday, so he's probably back behind the dish today. I would look at him. Christian Yelich, if he's in there, I like him. Willie Adames is another one. And then if you want to go down a little bit, Carlos Santana is an option. Mark Canha is an option. Rowdy Tellez for tournaments, I'm okay with. Blake Perkins, if you want to go even lower, I'm okay with Blake Perkins as well. If you're not going with Peralta and you want to go St. Louis bats, Goldie, Wilson Contreras, if he's in there. I don't know if he will. I believe Wilson was out yesterday. You could look at Tommy Edman, Nolan Arenado, Richie Palacios, I'm okay with. Lars Nootbaar, I'm okay with as well. So in this matchup, I'm probably not paying either pitcher. Freddie Peralta's too expensive, and Adam Wainwright's been terrible all year. So I would mainly focus on stacking Milwaukee, but you could throw some St. Louis bats in there. Red Sox at the Rangers, Cutter Crawford versus Jordan Montgomery. It is always hard to take a pitcher against this Rangers team this year. But yeah, let's take a look. Cutter Crawford, we did stack against him his last start against the Yankees. He only went 4.2 innings. Did have 7 strikeouts, though. It did not work out for us. Only gave up 1 earned run. But he's been up and down this year. 4.26 ERA. He's pitching on the road, where he does have a 2.69 ERA, but he is going against Texas. He faced them. The problem is Crawford's only going about 4 innings at 6,200. He's too expensive for 4 innings. He's faced them 1 time this year. 3 earned runs with 3 Ks in that one. 4.2 fantasy points. Not enough. It's Texas. And then you got Jordan Montgomery coming off a good start against Toronto, 22.8 fantasy points. Has not faced Boston this year. Obviously has faced Boston a ton, being with the Yankees, 102 plate appearances, 253. Game logs. The strikeouts are up and down. 3 here, 6 there, 0 against Minnesota. Only went 3.2 innings. Got lit up by Minnesota, but then had a good start. 5.1 innings the time before that. So hasn't faced Boston this year. Tournaments, I'm okay with at 8,000. It's in Texas, so again, the heat could play a factor. But yeah, if you're not taking the pitching, you want to look at the bats. Let's take a look at the bats. There are some bats on Boston that hit lefties very well. Adam Duvall is an option. Rob Refsnyder is an option. Devers against lefty, I'm okay with. Bobby Dahlbeck tournament, I'm okay with. He just got called back up. Justin Turner hits lefties well. A little bit of Trevor Story. You want to go cheaper with Boston if you don't want to go with Montgomery. Connor Wong is a cheaper option. Rafaela is a cheaper option. And Luis Urias is a cheaper option there. Flip side of that, if you're not going with pitching and you don't think Cutter Crawford is going to cut it, obviously Corey Seager at the top, Jonah Heim at the top, Mitch Garver, if he's in, I like him. Nate Lowe against a righty, I like. Simeon, I'm okay with. You want to get lower into the weeds here. Josh H. Smith, Travis Jankowski, you could look at. Ezekiel Duran and Leody Taveras, I'm okay with those. Obviously, Corey Seager is at the top of my list. He is on a list where he did not hit a home run the other day for me. Or was it yesterday? I took him yesterday or the day before, and he did not. But yeah, so I'm more feeling a Texas stack over Red Sox, but there are Red Sox bats that I'm okay with there. Orioles at the Astros, you got John Means versus Justin Verlander. So Means is making his second start of the year, or since last April. His start before that against St. Louis, he got the loss. He did go 5 innings, which I wasn't really sure how deep he would go into the games. Gave up 3 earned runs against St. Louis. They ended up losing 5-2. He only had 1 strikeout there. 8,000 was too expensive. They obviously that's what I said. I said him coming off the IL at 8,000, way too expensive, and it proved that I was correct. Now they've brought him down to 6,500 against Houston. I'm not taking him, absolutely not. And then you got Verlander here. We took him his last start against Oakland. 7 innings pitched. He did let us down. He gave up 5 earned runs against Oakland, which some stud pitchers go against Oakland and just get absolutely ripped. And that I don't understand why. Splits-wise, he has not faced Baltimore this year. In his career, 92 plate appearances, 216 batting average against this Orioles lineup. He's pitching at home, where he does have a 3.14 ERA, so he is better at home. 10,500 is a steep price there, though. Third highest priced pitcher on the slate. I'm still probably taking a Houston stack against John Means. Jose Altuve at the top. Jordan and Kyle Tucker both hit lefties very well. Ryan Mountcastle I'm okay with. Adley Rutschman I'm okay with. That's Orioles. Those would be the bats. If you're not going with Verlander because he is that expensive, those would be the bats you could look at. So Gunnar Henderson, Kierstad would be a cheap option. Mountcastle, Santander, Austin Hayes, Adley Rutschman. I'm okay with those. I'm probably not going to pay that expensive price for Verlander. Flip side of that, I'm stacking against John Means. I don't want anything to do with John Means. I would look at Jordan. Yonder Diaz dominates lefties. He'd be a sneaky option. Kyle Tucker hits lefties well. Jose Altuve at the top. Depending on who's out there, Chas McCormick as an outfielder, I don't mind him. Bregman obviously is another option. So in this matchup, I'm probably avoiding both pitchers. I'm definitely stacking Houston against Means. Verlander, I might just be priced out of just to his price because the Orioles do hit. This could be a higher scoring game than you might think. So I'm avoiding both pitchers. I'm stacking both sides. Rockies at the Padres. I'm not taking either pitcher because, Rockies. Let's see Michael Wacha. Wacha coming in, 8,900 though, -5, 9, 20.7. So he's faced Colorado once this year, 6 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, only 2 strikeouts. He's kind of high priced for that. Obviously, was that in Coors? No, that was at home, and that was the beginning of the season. Colorado, do they think it's going to be tie block? Is it going to be tie block? Wednesday. I mean, if it is him, I love a San Diego stack here. 5,200, I don't want anything to do with. But yeah, let's take a look real quick. So I would be looking. I don't think I'm not gonna take tie block. I'm focused on San Diego as a stack. I would look at Fernando Tatis. I would look at Manny Machado. Bogarts, Soto, even against the lefty, I'm okay with Soto. Ha-Seong Kim, I'm okay with. Jurickson Profar is a very cheap option. He's on his former team, going up against his other former team. You could look at that. So those would be the San Diego bats that I'd look at. If you're not going with Michael Wacha and you want to look at some of the Rockies bats, I would look at Nolan Jones, Ryan McMahon, Charlie Blackmon, Brennan Rodgers. And the cheaper options would be Hunter Goodman, Brenton Doyle, maybe even Alan Trejo, if you want to go even lower there. So, yeah, I'm not taking tie block. I don't think I want to pay up for a walk at that price. I'm focused on the offenses. I would mainly focus on stacking San Diego, but you could sprinkle in some Colorado bats as well. Mariners at Oakland, like I said, good pitchers have not been pitching well in Oakland for whatever reason. You got Brian Wu, who's faced him one start for 20 plate appearances. He had success. And then JP Sears, 69 plate appearances, 190. Usually I like to take lefty or righty bats against lefty pitching. That's kind of what I feel here. Just looking at the pricing, Brian Wu against Oakland faced him once this year, which was just a little bit ago, 3 starts ago. 25.1 fantasy points at 7,900. Now he's 7,200. Sign me up for Brian Wu. Love me some Brian Wu here. And then I would be looking. I don't want anything. Well, let's look at Sears real quick. Contrarian, you could go Sears. He's faced Seattle twice this year. 11 innings pitched, 1. He's actually had success against them. I could see both sides here. 16.1 fantasy points is fantastic for him. I think everyone will be on Seattle. And we could buck the trend. I think this could be a low-scoring game. I like both pitchers. I really do. I think Brian Wu is your cash option. I think JP Sears is your tournament. But let's look at the bats in case you don't go with this pitching here and you want to go with bats on either side. So Mariners side against JP Sears, if you think they're going to hit him this time. Julio against a righty, Teoscar Hernandez, Eugenio Suarez, Cal Raleigh, Ty France. Those are all the ones that you might look at. Cheaper options, Josh Rojas, J.P. Crawford, maybe Jared Kelenic. I would look at those. If, for whatever reason, you don't like Brian Wu, Geloff, obviously Brent Rooker, Ryan Noda, Seth Brown, those would be the ones I'd look at, but I kind of like Brian Wu here. I actually like both of these pitchers. So I think Brian Wu is your cash. I think J.P. Sears is your tournament. There are some reasons to take Mariners against the lefty, but Sears has actually had success against them. So both pitchers I'm okay with. Again, Wu is cash and Sears is GPP. Then you got the Tigers at the Dodgers. You got Eduardo Rodriguez, who declined or turned down a trade to the Dodgers this season. So we'll see. In 59 plate appearances against LA, 351 batting average, 25.4 K percentage. And then Lance Lynn, 82 plate appearances, 211 batting average, 31.7 K percentage out of him. We know that Lance Lynn has been lit up this year. Let's see. So Lance Lynn, 17.6 against San Diego. So he actually had a good start. He was 8,400, same price he is now. Negative, bad. Not. Well, no, exactly. He got 2 times value against Milwaukee. So Splits-wise, he's faced Detroit once this year, got a W, 6 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, or 3 runs, 1 of them earned, 0 home runs, and 5 Ks. Okay, tournaments, I'm okay with Lance Lynn. 8,400, this is just a weird pitching slate overall. I don't want to pay up for Peralta. I don't want to pay up for Wheeler. Verlander's a little bit more expensive. Rodriguez has been lit up this year. Game logs, has not faced the Dodgers this year, but as you can see in his career, 351 batting average. Splits-wise, he's on the road, where he does have a little bit better ERA on the road. 9,400 against this Dodgers. Now, the Dodgers already did clinch, so maybe they rest some people. That's the only thing I can think of. Erod makes sense if some of their big starters are resting. If it's a full lineup of all the big Dodgers bats, probably off Erod. I don't mind Lance Lynn here. And then if you look at bats here real quick. Let's see. Tigers, Spencer Torkelson is one I would look at if you're not going with Lynn. Kerry Carpenter, I'm okay with. Vierling, Parker Meadows. If you want to go a little bit cheaper, Akil Baddoo or Zach Short, I'm okay with there. And then if this full LA lineup comes out against Erod, JD Martinez and Mookie Betts facing their former teammate, I love that, especially against a lefty. Max Muncy, I'm okay with. Will Smith against the lefty, I'm always okay with. Ahmed Rosario, also okay with there. A very cheap option would be Kike Hernandez if he's in there. Let's see how much he is. Probably less than 3, I would assume. 3,100. So, yeah, right around that price. So, these are all options that I would look at if you're not going with either pitcher. There you have it. There's the breakdown of the pitching and the hitting on the slate. Now, what we do is we do 10,000 simulations throughout the day. Here are the top 10 bats and pitchers after doing 2,000 simulations. This will be updated about 2 hours before the lock of the main slate. So, first bat on the slate, Ronald Acuna Jr. 2 is Bobby Witt. 3 is Trey Turner. 4 is Julio Rodriguez. 5 is Kyle Tucker. 6 is Kyle Schwarber. 7 is Yordan Alvarez. 8 is Gunnar Henderson. 9 is Corey Seager. 10 is Max Muncy. 11 is Teoscar Hernandez. 12 is Jazz Chisholm. 13 is Michael Garcia. 14 is Bryce Harper. And 15 is Mookie Betts. So I wanted to give top 15 there. And then pitching, we've got Freddie Peralta. Again, he's a little expensive for me. Number 2 is Brian Wu, which I love. 3 is Jordan Montgomery. 4 is Edward Cabrera. 5 is Justin Verlander. 6 is Mike Clevenger. 7 is JP Sears. 8 is Zach Wheeler. 9 is Yohan Adon. 10 is Jose Budo. 11 is Brady Singer. 12 is Lance Lynn. 13, Kyle Wright. 14, Cutter Crawford. And 15 is Eduardo Rodriguez. So after 2,000 simulations, Erod is very down at the list. Again, they will go through, and these are going to be posted on the website, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. If you go under MLB tab, these will be under player projections. We got 2,000 player projections here, and then a couple hours before main lock, they'll be up to 10,000. And you can kind of see the difference. You can see the trending difference where maybe this person had 22 fantasy points on DraftKings. Now they're at 24. Whether or not, that takes into effect the weather factors, that takes into effect BVP, it takes into effect the lineups that come out. So it's more focused on, obviously there's the general, which it's going up against a projected lineup. And then after 10,000 during the whole day, then it goes to the lineups came out. Now the projections may have changed a little bit. So it goes through everything. And I think it's the new face of DFS, simulations and projections. So we're here for you. So if you have any questions at all, get those down below. If you have not already signed up, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, go check it out. Good luck on this slate, everybody. And let's bring home some bacon. Peace.